Thank you, Alexandra. Well, a few words about the system that the Deputy Minister just mentioned. You've heard a lot today about a system of geoinformation systems, and now we want to make sure that in our country, in the state body and governmental bodies, at all the levels, decisions should be taken on the basis of data. So our task is to create a system which will be a part of the geospatial and data infrastructure, and which is important for planning of territories and their development, not just spatial development, but in particular in order to understand whether we need to invest funds in the recovery of a certain site of social economic infrastructure which was ruined, whether there is any point in recovering that. So today we are going to speak about success stories in line of local self-governance. Among those who support us at the level of local self-governance in terms of local solutions, I'd like to give the floor to Dmytro Yakymchuk, head a project manager of EUACI, anti-corruption initiative, which is one of the flagships in supporting geoportals, GISs, at the local level, and it is our partner in the regional development as well. Dmytro, over to you. Thank you, colleagues. Thank you, Christina. Of course, the anti-corruption effort of the EU supports geoportals and geoinformation systems. We, as the leading EU program, deal not only with combating corruption. We support all the anti-corruption bodies in the country, but we also deal with prevention through the implementation of integrity and transparency instruments and accountability instruments, including geoinformational systems. We have a component which is related primarily to regional development, and it is called Cities of Integrity. The initiative supports certain cities in Ukraine which decided to upgrade their level of transparency, accountability, and integrity through implementation of various instruments. And in each of these cities there is such an instrument as geoinformation systems. And our program helps them to create geoportals in the cities of Chernivtsi, Zhytomyr, Nikopol, Chervonogorod, Mariupol, and Mykolaiv. And we are investing a lot of efforts, both material and intellectual, to help those cities in that way. Since all those instruments are aimed at making decision-taking public, geoinformation systems, since they seek to visualize all kinds of data, statistical, demographic, economic, and otherwise, to analyze them and to show them in a more straightforward visualized mode, they are better perceived and comprehended by people, by decision makers, and it makes it easier to work with the data. So we comprehensively support the idea of launching geoportals. We've been doing it for quite a few years. Mykolaiv also has joined our initiative of Cities of Integrity, and there we implement certain modules as well. Since any publication of open data and managerial decision-making is supported by us, and this makes it bilaterally a useful process, both for citizens and for relevant stakeholders. And people are increasingly engaged in decision-taking at the local level. And obviously this is going to be successful. We at the anti-corruption initiative, do believe in that. Later on, our representatives will tell you how they view this process from their perspective, but since those systems are quite complicated, and as far as I know, they're being implemented in smaller communities as well, not just in cities, but some communities are able to do this, some want to do this, but they have no capacity. We support not just cities in terms of this, but we also try to implement IT solutions for them. Each city has a number of modules, and all the communities are different in many respects. There are modules related to cultural heritage, to woodlands, to areas used for advertising, and so on, and they all are different from one another. The communities are different from one another in that respect as well, largely because of the war. In some cities there are modules showing damaged or ruined facilities, because this is irrelevant. And we also support the cities to buy geo portals for servers. We run training sessions for civil servants and for those who gather and process data, because data management is a very difficult thing, and different communities have different capacity to deal with that, which may be quite a problem in Ukraine sometimes. So we try, as we get requests from our cities of integrity, to provide them with what they need. Our program, as Christina has already said, our initiative supports GIS system for regional development, which will be used for regional development purposes and for recovery purposes as well. Because the recovery of Ukraine during and after the war is one of the functions of the EU anti-corruption initiative. And we obviously gladly support this initiative, just like we will support the follow-on implementation of this approach. EUACI, as of now, has implemented in all cities of integrity about 50 subsystems. They are modules of different thematics, and apart from that, we keep getting requests for new models and the development thereof, as well as for the purchase of new equipment.
And we are looking through all the proposals, and we're going to maintain our contacts. As I said, we believe into geoportals as one of the instruments of integrity, and it is one. It is not the element of prevention of corruption, but definitely supports transparency of data and development of cities and communication, as well as integrity. Thank you. That's all for now.